Are you an ideas person? Me too. I see an idea, my brain wheels start turning, and then I can barely keep up with executing. It's a quick start superpower. But even if you don't consider yourself to be an ideas person, this system is going to turn you into one. So, in this video, I'm walking you through how to create a content inspiration bank to store, track, and leverage your biggest and smallest ideas. Welcome back to Your Content Empire, the YouTube channel dedicated to helping you get more consistent and profitable with content the easy way. I'm your host, Haley Dale, a content and sales funnel strategist obsessed with bringing you all the latest and greatest in content and marketing. Struggling to come up with new content ideas, feeling like you're running out of good ideas specific to your niche, or just feeling a little blah when it comes to your business and inspiration? As business owners, ideas are our currency. So obviously, we need some kind of process or system to put them, store them, and ultimately use them. Which brings me to one of the most important systems in my content arsenal, the Content Inspiration Bank. Since I started using the system in 2016, many a product, challenge, and post idea have been born out of here. And I spend a lot of time talking about my other banking system, the Content Bank system, where you put the content you've created. In fact, you can watch a video here about it, and I'll put a link below this video. But the content inspiration system is just as important and will make just as much of an impact on your ability to uplevel and get consistent with your content too. Here's a quick sneak peek at my own. Number one, I have tabs for the different types of ideas that I want to track. And then I have a summary tab with my checklist, aka my process for using it. Then, in each of these tabs, I capture and store ideas that I find out in the wild, aka the internet or magazines or billboards or TV shows, commercials, etc. And then, when I'm working on something or need inspiration on what to work on, this is my one stop shop for ideas. So, are you ready to get started with creating your own? Let's get started with step number one, which is to pick somewhere to host your inspiration bank. Before we can create you an inspiration hotspot, we got to pick where that spot's going to be. And I find that the people who get the most out of the content inspiration banking system are the ones who pick a tool for hosting it that they're already using. They have the least resistance to actually using it. So prioritize tools that you're already using or ones that you prefer to work with. Some options for this might be Trello or Asana, Airtable, ClickUp, or my fave, Google Spreadsheets. In fact, if you'd like to use my template as a base, head on down to the description of this video and grab yourself a copy of it below this video. So step number one, take action takeaway, is pick one spot to try for storing your content ideas and inspiration. Step number two, design your content bank inspiration system. So next step is decision time. What types of inspiration do you tend to collect and want to have on hand for later? Let's go through an example. In my content inspiration bank, I have tabs for general ideas, content topic ideas, email subjects, phrases I love, emails, social media posts and ads, GIFs, and miscellaneous. So each of these live in a separate tab in my content inspiration Google Sheet. After you've decided on types, it's time to get specific about the types of information that would be helpful to include for each idea. It'll differ a bit depending on what the idea type is, but for each, I usually include columns for the title or text, the category, how I could use it, a link to that inspiration source material, and notes. I also include a little checkbox for whether it's been used already or not. Finally, it's time to build. So set up each tab of your content inspiration bank. And if you're feeling inspired, even go ahead and add a few ideas to get you started. Here's your take action takeaway. Set up your content inspiration bank. Step number three, design your inspiration bank process. Next up is to create a process for using your content inspiration bank. The worst thing you could do at this point is to spend all this time setting up and populating your content inspiration bank and then never end up using it. This step is all about preventing that from happening. And there are two sides of this equation. Side number one is actually adding ideas to your inspiration bank, and side number two is using your inspiration bank when you're actually looking for inspiration. When it comes to adding ideas to your inspiration bank, here's how to create that process. Number one is to identify spots where you usually come across inspiration For example, maybe it's on Pinterest or Facebook or Instagram or in emails that you receive. Number two is to then, for each of these platforms, create a collection point where you can easily and quickly save the idea to come back to later. For Pinterest, you could set up a secret board. For Facebook, there are Facebook saves. For Instagram, there are saves as well. And when you're out and about, you can take a picture or put a note in your phone. Or in your email, you could set up a folder. Number three, finally, pick how often you're going to go through each of these inspiration collection points and move things into your inspiration bank. This might be as often as once a week, as part of your Friday wrap up routine, or like myself, once a month. Number four, create a checklist of where to check when you are doing your add to content inspiration routine. On the other side of that coin, when it comes to using your inspiration bank, make it easy for yourself by adding it into your process for content planning, making the link to your bank really accessible and easy to find. One of my best selling products, the Profitable Content Campaign Generator, came from an infographic I saw in a magazine about a smoothie recipe. So it won't always be a direct connection to what the seed of the idea eventually becomes, but you never know where you're going to come across your inspiration and what you're going to turn it into. This is just one example of several where my inspiration bank has paid off for me big time. So here's your take action takeaway: create yourself a checklist for using your inspiration bank. So, are you ready to set up your own content inspiration bank? Let's recap the steps. Step number one, pick where you want to host your inspiration system. Step number two, design your inspiration bank with tabs and content category types. Step number three, create a process for using your content inspiration bank on the go. All right, with that, make sure to like and subscribe. And if you want to be the first to know when the next video goes live, hint, it's Mondays, ring that bell. And until next time, here's to your content empire.